Okay, so we're back here in this lesson to begin working on the character's arms and making them more organic and realistic feeling. Right now, if we play it, we can see they're fairly stiff and have a little bit of jitter to them. Okay, so let's go in here and see what's going on. So here is our main action right here for the arm swinging. Okay, we've got our rotations happening here. And we can actually do a little bit of cleanup on these here. Okay, so that makes them a little smoother in their transitions. And then these have been flattened here, so that looks good. Okay, and I'm going to actually just flatten them both again. It corrects the tangents on them so they are the same. Alright, so that took out some of the jitter happening there. If we play that, we can see it is smoother now. Okay, there are other rotations here where we could see some other things going on here. So this is the one that I had just set up in the previous lesson here. This is the rotation of the arm to help it kind of swing the hands into the correct position as it's walking. So I'm going to actually take these guys out here, and that's creating a little bit of that jitter. Okay. And flatten these, make sure they're good there, and then let's play these again. Okay, so we can see a lot smoother action happening up here with the shoulder. Alright, and then let's work our way down. Okay, so I'm going to go down to the elbow now and take a look at it. So we've got a little issue here, so it's going in this direction, it's starting to pull back, goes to here, and then it switches directions here. Okay, so I'm actually going to probably get rid of at least these two right here to clean it up. Actually, I think all of these will help it. And then what we want to do is offset this now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is grab this whole curve here, hold down the shift key, and I'm making sure that I'm not over a tangent. If I go over a tangent, it's going to start pulling the tangents around, and that's not what we want. Move it down. So in this case, I'm going down 2 frames. Okay. And we've got that little wobble there, so I'm actually going to get rid of that. And I feel like they could swing just a little bit more. Let's go ahead and exaggerate these. Let's come over to here. So that's where it's back, which is fine. And then here's the forward motion. Okay, so let's take these two and bring them down to here. Okay, and let's go to the next frame and see where it's at here. So let's bring this one down. So this is going to create a sense of it dragging behind, which is what we want. Okay, then I'm going to get rid of that keyframe. Alright, so let's look at that rotation now. I'm going to slide that down a little bit more. Okay, and then this is the back position, and I'm going to push it a little bit more too so it straightens out just a little bit more. Okay, and you'll see now that this is clear down. I've moved it down a little bit more to frame 20. So it is dragging behind by 3 frames. Alright, that's looking much better. Okay, so we have no animation on the hands yet, so we're just looking at the upper arm here, the shoulder, and then the drag happening on the elbow. the main action is moving in one direction, this is actually following behind it now by 3 frames. And that's about what we want. Okay, so it's got a little strange rotations going on here, so I'm going to just kind of check that out. And that was the rotation I think we did on the shoulder. Let's check that out. And these may need to come up here. So alright, so I'm just making a little nicer transition here on these. And sliding this here. Sliding this here. Okay, so that helped quite a bit. Alright. Okay, so the hand. So let's grab the wrist controller here and slide through. So let's go back to frame 1. So as we advance forward, the arm is pulling back. Okay, until we cross frame 17, and then it begins to move forward again. So I'm actually going to start here where it's swinging forward. So I'm going to go forward 3 frames. Actually, I'm going to push a little more and go 4 frames, and I'm going to twist this back here. Okay, so I pushed it back here just on the one Y rotate, but I'm also going to kind of swing it in maybe a little bit like this and like that. Okay, this might be a little bit extreme here, okay, but we can always back off on our curves a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to start there and hit S. That gives us a keyframe. Okay, so since we did this select all, it's got all these other keyframes here as well. So what I want to do is get rid of a lot of these other keyframes. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and delete these like that. Okay, so now it's just holding that position. Okay, and then as it swings forward to here, I want it doing the opposite. So I want it to come up, rotate more like this, in like that. Okay, and we're going to hit S, and then I'm going to copy frame 33 and go down to frame 1, paste that there. Okay, and then I'm going to just hit F out here so we can see what's going on a little better. And it looks like it actually still has some of the step mode here. Let's grab these and make sure we are in spline. Okay, and then we'll come back and take a look at these in just a minute. But let's see how that's looking. Yeah, I feel like that's it's not forced. Okay, so it looks pretty good. Pretty happy with that. So I do see actually that connection right there is making a little bit of a jerk. So let's go ahead and flatten it here and here. Okay. All right, so that looks nice. It's got a nice flow to it. Okay, so I still feel like something kind of wonky is going on up here, possibly with this. So I'm going to take these out here and try that. Yeah, I think when it gets to this position right here where it's crossing in front, the arm is crossing over here, it's just looking a little strange, just the overall pose here. Let's take a look at what's going on here with the elbow. Okay, so let's try getting rid of that, flattening this. I think that might have been the problem right there. Okay, and then this is still happening on frame 20, which we want. Okay. There, I think it's swinging better now. All right. So you can see a big difference between a hand that has drag on it, which is the overlapping action, versus one that does not. Okay, so you can see how stiff this is. This is where we want to go with it. Okay, and then this really says a lot about the character, his attitude. If it's a little more stiff or forced, then he's got, maybe a little bit more aggressive walk going on. Here he's pretty loose, so the hand is swinging very freely, and he's got a little bit more of a kind of casual and relaxed walk. So what we'll do next, I'm going to just copy this over. So it's the same copy and paste process that we've done before in the past. We just want to take all of this and move it over here. And that way we don't have to repeat it, and it will all be in sync. And we'll come back in the next lesson and start working on the head.